welcome to EPICENTER, this part of the SEA qualifiers. We've got Fnatic going up against Mineski-X. Should be a great game. I'm Zambrella, joined by Scan.
Yeah.
Do this.
An interesting setup for the teams today, which is that it seems like Mineski-X only really have their captain, because last time I checked it was Extinct and Winter and Ketchik. And Jacko had played with them before, and then couldn't play with them in the Valve qualifiers, but he seems to be back. I'm not sure, maybe these are players playing under aliases. I think that NJ was playing for WuG, which is the team that actually got that Mineski-X took the slot from in this qualifier. Barbecue Flamingo seems to be someone who has no ranked MMR, which makes me think it's a Smurf, so maybe that is Winter or Ketchik. But on the opposite side, Fnatic have all their players except their captain. Mushi's not there. And 343 seems to have a Fnatic tag, so I don't know if he's like become their registered sub. But 343 last I checked was playing for Turing, so that's interesting too.
Mix up.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, but we're gonna see pretty standard bans. The junglers being taken out. Earthspirit, Lone Druid, although Nature's Prophet is left in, and in this metagame I'd sort of expect Nature's Prophet to be the default first pick if it is left in, but Fnatic go for the Doom, and kind of evidence that they've been in China, they've been playing Chinese pubs recently, because Doom is sort of a go-to every game picked in Chinese pubs these days.
Yeah, wow. Is what position? 4 or 3?
Jungle, they almost always jungle, it is a 4 position. And I mean, Secret copied that at the Shanghai Major, ended up winning the tournament, so had great success. They actually did run, I think Secret ran in Jungle Doom at Soda when they got knocked out. And I know that TNC were running Jungle Doom yesterday against Mineski, so it started to trend for sure. And it's certainly the role I'd expect it in, most likely. It can be off lane or safe lane, but it seems like jungling is where people put Doom mostly.
I mean, yeah, you can definitely get away with it these days as well. I don't know, like, I feel like teams could punish it with like aggro tri-lanes, but I think you have to set yourself up for like a solid carry that can survive with just one support.
Yeah, I mean
gonna do something.
The Doom is supposed to be able to get involved. That's the thing. Like a lot of the Dooms you see go 1-1-1, they eat some useful creep, and then they've got the Scorched Earth and even the extra attack damage from Infernal Blade, and that's done. But what I saw yesterday when TNC tried to run the Doom against Mineski in the jungle, Mineski actually just got ahead of them. They just abused them. Like, even before the Doom got level 3, they were making kills in lanes, and then at that point if the Doom tries to come out of the jungle and be helpful, it's maybe a bit too late. But Fnatic are gonna go for the Invoker for mid 1. He is an extremely good Invoker. It's funny, yesterday I was casting TNC vs Mineski and we were talking about Tihi and Ben Hur as top mids in the Philippines region, but in the overall SEA region, mid 1 is probably holding that spot. He is a phenomenal player, and I think he's especially good at using Fairy Fires, which the use of Fairy Fires is becoming more and more of a sort of super significant part of playing the mid lane, actually, I would say.
Yeah.
Being just that little bit more clutch on what you can bait in terms of aggression.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Should be a good show then. OD Beastmaster is pretty scary already. KB piercing lockdown. OD is just a strong hero in general.
I think I did mention to you before we went live, Extinct was obviously coaching Fnatic at the Shanghai Major, and he was specifically doing help with their drafts. So you gotta say that if there's one thing that Mineski-X might have an advantage on yet, it's drafting, because Fnatic are missing Mushi, who usually drafts for them. And they're drafting against the person who like sort of saw all their drafts and told them what to pick or gave them advice on what to pick previously. So you do expect Mineski-X might have a lot of insights into what Fnatic might want to do here.
Interesting. Do you think a Broodmother is a warranted ban here?
10 seconds remaining.
Sure, yep. I mean, it's in Southeast Asia, teams have been, it's become a verb, teams have been brooding each other a lot recently. Fnatic actually brooded people at the Major 2 or 3 times.
Reserve time.
Yes, at Dotapit there were teams banning Brood quite a lot as well at this stage of the draft too. You just don't want to get to that second stage of the draft, the last pick of the second stage, fourth pick, and suddenly the enemy team picks Brood, and you have to scramble to adjust your entire draft in your last pick.
Pick like a Mid.X or something strange
Dire
like
team
that.
pick.
I actually really
nobody
enjoy
wants-
seeing Broodmothers played mid as well.
Yeah, and that's something that makes it more difficult. So if the Brood gets picked up that late and you have to react to it, like they can switch the Brood's lane. There's a lot of things they can do if you only have one hero that can lane against the Brood. So I think it's a reasonable thing always to do. Just take out a Brood, avoid getting cheesed. It really is a kind of cheese.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
I think we're going to see potential of like the Outworld Devour plus Omni Knight combo.
5 seconds remaining.
Be okay this game, Omni Knight.
It actually,
Reserve
for whatever
time.
reason, that combo seems to never happen in professional games. It's like the combo for pub games.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure everyone's seen it, but
Fanatics
I mean,
turn
personally,
to
I just think
pick.
that Omni Knight is a hero that provides very, very little early on in the game. Does
Yeah.
almost nothing for your lanes, and it makes it a bit of a greedy pick. And the Outward Devour is probably good enough without the Omni Knight anyway, but they're gonna go for the Vengeful Spirits, and this sort of tips their hand. Before it wasn't that obvious, but I think this says that Mineski-X are going for push.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that like there's no Enchantress, Nature's Prophet, Lone Druid, Chen, Beastmaster and
10
Venge together,
seconds
even the OD put in there with the Aura, like I think they want to push.
5 seconds.
Yeah, maybe they could pick up something like a Shallow Shaman. Might be pretty decent.
Yes, it's a possibility. For some reason, I more expect the Dazzle, which can play a kind of similar role to the Omni Knight with the OD and really sustains the push when you have OD or a Dazzle with infinite heal. Obviously, they need another core as well for either their mid or their safe lane. I believe it is Jacko who plays mid, who I think he's. I mean, I know that he's like considered to be like a god tier player in the region, and a lot of people think it's unfortunate that he ended up being banned from Valve events. But obviously, this not being a Valve event, he's able to participate and could actually challenge mid one quite seriously in that mid lane. And probably I would say the Wind Ranger then going to be mid, and the Outward Devour going to be in the safe lane.
Yeah. Nice. Wind Ranger, definitely a hero that has fallen out of favor, but I still think when she's picked up in the right situations, is still, you know, a top tier pick.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, again, Secret did really well with Weeha's Wind Ranger a couple of times
5
at the
seconds
Shy Major,
remaining.
showed that it can still be a thing. And
Reserve time.
I'm interested actually in Fnatic's Oracle pick, because we didn't discuss it yet, but a lot of the time you see Oracle these days, it's meant to be some kind of direct counter to something or other. And I'm not really sure. You know, people pick Oracle because it deals well with Darkseer in the off lane, or deals well with Ember Spirits. Like important things you can purge off, or important things you can combo with on your side.
Yeah.
If they were to pick maybe a DP, no, it's a really good hero for Oracle to just keep up, keep alive.
Yeah.
Not totally sure what the justification for the Oracle pick here is in this particular game.
My only thought is that I think it is pretty good against the Beastmaster. He's got a, what was that, a 3.5 second stun or something? Changes between 3 and 4 seconds, and you can completely negate that with a false promise, and they pick up the Batrider. So I feel like they knew they were picking up the Batrider here, so they picked the Oracle first, denying it from Mineski.
I guess, yeah, so you can dispel the Roar, and it protects with the Beastmaster, with the Bat as well, so that makes
10
good sense.
seconds remaining.
I
Last-
wonder,
5 seconds remaining.
what do you think?
Well, Mineski-X
Reserve
probably going
time.
for another support hero, and Fnatic need. They also need actually.
No,
I guess
the
another
chances are-
carry here.
Yeah, the chances are they need a carry. I find it really interesting that they're 3-4-3 subbing for Mushy and doing the draft. I think that's
Fanatics turn to ban.
It says something. Like,
I
if
thought
nobody
it's
else wants
like-
to draft, is he? Do they just think he's such a good draft? Like, I feel like having your stand-in draft is an unusual thing to do.
My thought is, like you said, how Extinct has been coaching
10
Fnatic and helping them
seconds
draft. If you throw in, he hasn't seen 3-4-3 draft. Well, I'm sure he
5
has, but he
seconds
hasn't
remaining.
been following him quite so much. So maybe there's a bit of a curveball there.
Reserve
Yep,
time.
that could be it. I'd guess that they just respect 3-4-3 as a draft, or maybe, I mean, ultimately they're probably drafting as a team. I wonder if 3-4-3 is with them, because Fnatic do have a team house, And I do believe that they all live together. I don't know if she's sick or something, but I'd be curious to know if
yeah, I've been reading in the chat that apparently Mushi's a bit ill.
she's ill.
Apparently, according to chat.
Okay.
You know, we all know how reliable that can be.
Yeah. You should ask them if they know what's happened with Winter and Ketchik Ember. Because those players we expect to see on Mineski-X, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like one of them could be the Barbecue Flamingo, because this is just like some mysterious person who has like no ranked MMR.
So they ban out the Juggernaut. So do they think Mineski's running like a support, like a position for Beastmaster or something?
It could also be a position for Wind Ranger,
5
both of those
seconds
are
remaining.
possibilities. It also maybe just suggests, like, they might not think it's the case, but maybe that's what they're more worried about. I mean, because they know that their Doom is probably going to be in the jungle, I'd think that they might expect, okay, well, Mineski-X could easily run Beastmaster in the jungle or run a greedy Wind Ranger support, just because we're doing it and we're not going to punish them for it. So it's reasonable to still ban a carry.
Well, if it is a carry, yeah. I think Juggernaut's a fairly, is a good pushing hero. With his spin, you can hit towers, the heal as well. Fantastic for pushing as long as you can micro that healing ward. Obviously, these players can.
Yeah, so also something interesting, I think that both of these teams are 4 Malaysians and 1 Filipino. And it's often, I mean, it's widely believed that DJ, the Filipino in Fnatic, is actually their strongest player. And I think it wouldn't be that hard to make the case for Jacko being in a similar position actually on Mineski-X. So I know there's been kind of bad blood between fans of Malaysian players and Filipino players, but you know, when you're Malaysian teams and your star players are Filipinos, you gotta have some respect.
Fnatic's turn to pick.
Alright. Position for Night Stalker, it seems. So he can roam around, get aggressive, 4 minutes, nighttime, and try and apply some pressure, possibly on the Doom or the weaker lanes. Try and gag that Invoker. You could focus him early on. If like you say, mid one is like a fantastic player. If you can try and stifle him a little bit, that'll be. You're in a good place in the
10
game.
seconds remaining.
Oh yes, absolutely. There's more than once seen teams approach Fnatic
5
exactly that
seconds
way
remaining.
by just trying to shut down mid one and give him a really poor start to the game. And
Reserve
he does
time.
struggle sometimes to play from behind if that happens, and especially with Moshi not here. If you're lacking, if mid one's struggling and Moshi's not here, it feels like there's a lack of ability for Fnatic to be carried. Not sure what they're going to do by way of roles. If I know 343 is obviously taking over the drafting role, but is he going to play the carry role instead of Moshi? Because I do believe, yeah, 343 is a support player, so it looks like Net is actually maybe playing the carry Spectre. Net was actually playing, he was playing carry in a previous version of, I don't know if it's Mineski-X or the team before this that Winter was in. I know Net was playing carry there. That team didn't end up doing too well, but he clearly has played some amount of carry. I feel like in his professional career, he's almost always been a support player though.
Get a chance to show off to his fans that you can play many roles. We're about to get into game number 1. Fnatic versus Mineski as part of the EPICENTER SEA qualifiers. And here we go. This should be a good game. Best of 3, like I said. As the players leave the base.
Yeah. I'd love to know who this... I mean, if you are keeping tabs in chat, I'd love to know if anyone knows who Barbecue Flamingo is.
Seems like something Winter would call himself.
Yeah, but Winter would not be playing safe lane hoodie. So
No, that's a good
it
point.
would more likely be Ketchik than if it is one of them. And it will be Jacko on the mid Wind Ranger, which makes sense to me.
But actually, we're not actually going to see any grouping up or anything in the early stage of the games. Just going to sort of fan themselves out of the base, get some wards down, and get themselves set up for the lanes. No 5-man grouping up, no smokes into the enemy jungle or anything like that. It's all too prevalent these days.
Yeah, it is slightly more favored by the Pinoy teams than the Malay teams. Especially when you're going to be picking these junglers. Gives you less ability. Like, what's going to happen if Fnatic goes for an early fight is Doom's going to be tempted to take Scorched Earth, and then he's going to be in a lot of trouble jungling because he needs to have his Devour level 1 to jungle. So they're nervous to fight. They're going to take the trade. Mineski-X will get the top rune and Fnatic will get the bot rune. It's perfectly fine for both teams.
Every coin helps.
What do you think about this Wind Ranger Invoker matchup? It should be fairly even, I guess, but I guess Invoker will have an sort of damage advantage.
Yeah, I think they can both farm. I think it's a reasonably even matchup. It depends quite a lot on play skill, and that's cool for us actually, because these are both two very like individually talented players. So there's a lot of room for them to sort of show each other up and be the better player in this particular game.
Invoker did get the high ground advantage though at the moment in this as the first wave comes down. He's going to go for the Exalt build, it seems like, as well. Yeah, that should be interesting. However, the other lanes, looks like we've got an aggro dual lane at the moment coming out from the Radiant side. Fnatic, Doom supporting that Bat Rider for the moment. We're going to try and apply pressure to this OD, who kind of really only has the support of Vengeful Spirit. I'm going to see in the mid lane though, it could be the first blood as the mid one does use those Fairy Fires. It's not going to keep him alive though, it's going to be Nova on the Night Stalker that draws the first blood. Early rotation from him, not even nighttime yet.
Yeah, and did talk about the potential for mid one to be exploited by early ganks in his mid lane, and I mean, I don't think that speaks to the conversation of who's going to outplay who in the 1v1, but certainly in terms of the strategy for dealing with Fnatic by ganking out, well, there's going to be another gank actually on the Bat Ride in the top lane. Night Stalker and Vengeful Spirit, I don't think they can make this kill on their own, and Ohio just leaving some damage on his way out, saying, you can't kill me, I'm going to just chip you a little bit myself.
And he even managed to grab the creep wave down as well, so that's going to be another level going the way. Well, nearly another level going his way.
Nova's heading back towards that mid lane, but he's got DJ on his back. So these two big winged demons fighting each other out in the river.
Give me the rune! Hugo managed to get this. Nice Stalker that managed to grab that, and now they're going to go after this now. Invoker moves to flank Jacko there. And actually still DJ continues to take off the Night Stalker, so Night Stalker takes a bit of damage after getting the bounty rune, and Doom's still on full health. He's gone for the Satyr creep, so he's got 6 health regen. That is ridiculous. He can trade so effectively with that, not to mention Scorched Earth buffing his health up that way as well.
Yeah, so this is one of many ways in which people, you know, you can play the jungle Doom in a non-greedy way. You can still be useful, be at lanes, try and do things. It's always a kind of toss-up, because if he's just sitting in the jungle, he's probably leveling a lot faster, but it's about how much space he can buy for Ohio, and I think he's decided he's bought enough now. Once the Bat Rider is level 3, it's usually quite self-sufficient.
So both offlaners for both teams actually getting a fair amount just because of these sort of less defensive lanes for the safe laners. And we even see Night Stalker make his way all the way down to this bottom lane for now. He's picked up a TP scroll in case he's needed elsewhere. Kind of try and apply some pressure on the Spectre. You can stop the Spectre farming, delaying that possible. No, don't even have to go Radiance, but obviously an early Radiance on a Spectre is fantastic.
It probably won't be. It's not the Radiance is really not the build these days very much since Batman entered the scene. Like, you usually see a urn and a drum and Manta style, diffusal blade, those kind of smaller items. But this is actually going to be a difficult laning setup, I think, for the Spectre and the Oracle. If Night Stalker and Beastmaster stay down here, and this is at daytime, we're going to hit nighttime very soon. And I think if Beastmaster has a boar or two up with the start of nighttime, Night Stalker's going to hit level 3. You're going to have to rotate someone in here if you're Fnatic. I think that this is really dangerous, and on top of that, there's also the Night Stalker who's now gone off the map and could be going to the mid lane as well. So this is something that Fnatic needs to be prepared for.
Nighttime, where's he gonna go? Looks like he's heading towards that mid lane. Ranger, 1 level in Shackle Shot now, 3 levels in Power Shot. That's enough damage. If he does manage to get a Shackle, Night Stalker rotates in, Crippling Fear plus the Void.
It's very interesting that he goes for the 1-1-1 build. It's not that common actually. Usually suggests that you think you'll need the Crippling Fear to make a kill, and I'm not completely sure that you do against the Quas Exort Invoker, who's not likely to have Ghost Walk yet.
In Ranger with a DD as well. And they've got to be so careful. But in the top lane, looks like there's going to be a dive. Astral Imprisonment onto the Batrider at the moment. He's underneath the town. The TP coming in from the Night Stalker. They're going to chase after Hi-Hi-Oh. He's going into the tree line. He's still alive, but the chase is too much. Now DJ may be in a little bit of trouble here. Night Stalker continues to chase after him, and the right-click damage coming in from the OG with that Arcane Orb is quite significant as Doom's Scorched Earth, it wears off. He's also got the Orb on and Orb of Venom slowing him. He's going to go down. Doesn't even get the last Dukin out. Going to be 2 more kills going the way of Mineski-X. Actually, in the mid lane, there's going to be a chase. Wind Ranger is going to get hit by Sunstrike. That's a lot of damage, and not expecting it. They get their first kill for Fnatic.
And that's the kind of play that I expect from mid one, where a lot of the time the kills he makes in the mid lane do involve some kind of baiting. That's why I was talking about the Fairy Fires. I believe he had another Fairy Fire there. But it starts off with it looking like mid one's gone really low, and Jacko decides to rush past the touch to try finish the kill, and mid one gets to an advantageous position in the high ground, turns things around, and the number of times I've seen mid one do that to opponents actually, just like with very small subtle plays, turn things around after baiting them into dive. He's really good at that actually.
Yeah, that was impressive. I like that he used the Cold Snap to help set up the Sunstrike as well.
Yeah, and there's gonna be, looks like, some rotations now from Mineski-X yet again. Vengeful Spirits and Night Stalker going together. Night Stalker still level 3, Vengeful Spirit actually at level 4, and they're gonna try and keep the pressure up, because so far so good for them. Other than that one solid individual play from mid one, Mineski-X are the ones making the kills everywhere.
Spectre's actually pretty low at the moment, managed to get the ball slow. They're chasing after her. Where's the TP support coming in? It's nowhere. Using the dagger to go into the tree line, but the Void. It comes through now, dominating streak for this Night Stalker. He's actually got all the kills on Mineski's side. They get a big kill on the enemy carry.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about the drop, we spoke about how Extinct was kind of the coach of Fnatic, and Fnatic are missing their draft to Mushi. They got 343, who I think did draft back when he played for CSW or Taring, but they're gonna get a kill back to the top, but I do feel like it's, like, if we look at the laning setup, we also spoke about the fact that Net's normally a support player, she has played carry. I don't think the Spectre's gonna be fine 1v1 against Beastmaster anymore, so never mind rotations. I really think Fnatic have to give some attention to their Spectre almost permanently if he's going to farm.
There's a Raw now up on the Beastmaster as well. One misstep coming out from Net. And a Raw plus the Vengeful Spirit plus the Night Stalker. Two supports on the side of Mineski-X. I think Spectre will be another death. Does have the Haunt up now. So possible chance of haunting himself out of there, but it's got to be so dangerous. Oracle just sitting behind. He's actually got some decent levels now, level 5.5, getting very close to that false promise, which would help counter a lot of the lockdown. Meanwhile, top lane, pings come out, they want to chase onto Flamingo, the Haunt comes through, he's being surrounded, he drops the hammer. Ohio could be the first death of this, as the gank not going quite so successfully at the moment, although OD chased after 61 hit points. It's going to be enough. In comes Jacko though, still got a Shackle Shot he wants to use it. The Sunstrike comes down, hits Extinct. Lovely work there from the Invoker, but now DJ gonna get focus fired, it seems. And we're gonna have a 2-for-2 trade in the end.
It's actually, I think this is alright for Fnatic, particularly because they get their Spectre involved, and he gets a lot more gold than he would have gotten if he had spent the time farming. Because he ends up being alive through all those kills, 2-for-2, but he's alive, he gets 1,000 gold, and I think that's important. I think that's maybe the way that Ned wants to play Spectre right now, because the static laning is just not going to favor Fnatic at the moment.
Yep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Score 4-6. There's Invoker and Wind Ranger have been actually farming pretty much equally. So, but look how much Beastmaster's got. 37 last hits, but I guess the Batrider is pretty close as well. And it's been daytime for about nearly a minute. So maybe it's time for Night Stalker to maybe get a little bit of farm up as Invoker picks up that all-important Hand of Midas to boost him up in levels and gold.
And now it's the smoke from OD and Vengeful Spirit on the side of Mineski-X. Spectre's not down here, but they're still gonna focus this bot lane with the Beastmaster's Raw online, wanting to make use of it, and there is a level 6 on 343 actually, so
yeah, it's gonna be tricky. Yeah, the stun, the Raw, yeah, that's exactly what they're gonna do. They do Doom up on the OD, but it's not gonna be enough if there's no rotations in, and Doom's in a lot of trouble. Slowed Up does have that Scorched Earth up for a little bit more, so Doom is used It might have saved him, to be honest. So, yeah, they didn't find a kill with the Doom, but at least he's still alive.
And he's TPing straight out. That's very clever from DJ, recognizing that they could just dive him. He asked his teammates, you know, who's ready to come in for me? Are we going to defend this? And Invoker doesn't have a TP scroll. And actually, speaking of Invoker and Bat finished up that mid tower.
So, second tower going down on the Dire side, so a little bit of extra gold going the way of Fnatic. I'm sure if I looked over at the net worth graph now, Fnatic are just in the lead with 500 more net worth.
And it's literally from those towers, right? Because in terms of the kill trades, the positional trades, it does seem like Mineski-X got a better understanding of the game, but there is something to be said for the more experienced team, almost always typically being the team that prioritizes killing structures more, objective-based gaming, and I think Mineski-X will probably not be happy with that. I think Extinct will probably be saying to his team, it's wrong that we haven't killed towers and they have, because we're meant to be the ones with the control of the game at the moment.
Yep. So, Evoker expected to be top of the net worth, but if you look at 4 heroes on the Dire side there, they're all sort of evenly farmed within 1k of each other. So, like you said, that you feel like they should be able to take towers, but could be the last T1 tower going down for Mineski-X's. 4 Radiant heroes group up. Everyone bar the Bat Riders. He's trying to find his Blink Dagger. He's got a haste rune actually, which could come in handy at some point. And Mineski-X, they need to set up quickly if they want to defend this tower. They are rotating some heroes down, but the tower already down to 500 hit points. It's falling quickly. Do they have the Roar? They've got Roar up on Beastmaster. He's got level 1 Necro as well. And the Radiant, they did get dewarded. So they're going to back off for now, but that's some good damage into the tower.
Fnatic totally fine with this. The way that they can just TP someone, they draw all of Mineski-X, they TP one out. The Bat Rider was never even there to start with, and this is a dynamic that's starting to dominate the game for me, which is that Mineski-X realize they don't want to be just losing towers left, right, and center. They want to be actually taking towers. They don't want to be at a tower deficit so much. But it forces them to make these commitments, these rotations, where they say, Fnatic, you're pushing our tower, we're all going to come. And Fnatic, if they're smart, can react exactly like this by then splitting up. And in some respects, they sort of really just reading Mineski-X movements very well. But it is nighttime again now, and this will be a big advantage for Mineski-X, and they're going to try and press it.
Got the Hawk to give them some extra vision as well. Plus the nighttime, like you said. I guess this is the. I think if you're Fnatic, maybe you're like, okay, it's nighttime. We've got to play really careful. Maybe go back to farming. But Doom's actually leading the way. They're going to go aggressive here at the moment. The Spectre comes, the Horn comes out. They Doom up on the Windrose, so she's pretty useful at the moment. But there's what we were talking about. The Roar did come out onto the Bat Rider. Still hasn't used that Flaming Lasso, but the Hammer, the drop from the OD, still hasn't killed anyone. And the Sunstrike does hit on Extinct. Beastmaster's already dead. Yes, he did get his Roar off. The turn speed as well on Benj was too low. As they're diving past his T1 tower, big Hadouken actually, but the Shackles come through. Oracle, there's going to be the first casualty for Fnatic as Jacko runs himself away. Barbecue Flamingo, though, killed underneath his T2 town. There's a 3-for-1 trade-off at the moment. Fnatic very happy with that at the moment. DJ so low, but he survives. The Fortification comes out denying the kill on the tower at the moment.
I think Mineski-X were just not ready. The last thing they expected is that as night starts, Fnatic will actually take a fight on them. And they were
I mean, who expects that, right?
Yep. So, I mean, they get 1 kill just from a good shackle at the back end of the fight, but they're really not ready to fight themselves. If you look at the items that they have, the OD looks like it's building to a Hand of Midas, actually, which is normally OD, everything goes according to plan, and you just pull that fast drum, get your Blink Dagger or your Force Stop, something like that, and go straight into fighting mode. But this is an OD that's bought the extra gloves, looks to be going to sort of recovery Midas, but now being forced to fight, and that's again an awkward dynamic for the carry player.
Mineski gonna try and get aggressive now. They know there's no Horn and no Lasso, so 3 of them. They smoke up, looking for vengeance, looking for the return kills, but they're not gonna find anyone at the moment. They do get a nice Observer Ward down. There's no Fnatic heroes inside their own jungle. This is really good from Fnatic, actually, realizing, and they're actually going to smoke up themselves. They've got Lasso up now. Doom's got Doom up in 14. And actually that's a Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider. This could be so big, but they move inside the enemy jungle, much like Mineski-X did, and they're not going to be able to find anyone.
Yeah, they'll find nothing. Absolutely nothing. They get a ward up for the tier 2 mid, which I think is quite important. It might help them to just push this on. In fact, here's a TP that's going to be a death. For sure, Jack is down.
Yeah, he gets grabbed by the lasso. Are they going to commit the doom on this? They don't need to. The nuke damage with the meatball plus the purifying flames is just too much to handle. They didn't even need to commit the horn.
Fnatic actually recognizing, okay, we didn't find anyone in the jungle with our smoke, but we'll just head around to tier 2, set up a ward, and that'll actually give us a kill. Because it is, I think, fairly obvious that someone from Mineski-X wants to come defend this lane.
Yes. Yeah, so Mike's work there. Beastmaster, he could buy his Necro 2 recipe if need be. Invoker gone for the Yule's build. Pretty standard stuff. Meanwhile, oh no, Beastmaster's been found out. The Hawk comes through. They're gonna just throw him down, and he does throw out the roar, but kind of wasted.
Yeah. And these small moments that keep happening suggest to me it's very clear. Even though Fnatic are using one stand-in, it is 343 who's their registered reserve, so he's definitely played with it before at some points. Probably trains with them sometimes. And Mineski-X is a team that's still trying to find itself. It's, you know, we're not sure where Winter and Ketchikimbo are, who are like the two actual registered players with Extinct. So this is Extinct with sure Jacko he's played with before, and a bunch of other players who, I mean, I actually asked him at the start of the game, is this your confirmed new roster? And he said, no, we're still figuring things out. And I think that you can sense that when these kind of plays happen, where Mineski-X feel like they're in a stronger position, but they're getting caught out, and again, this is Flamingo, probably going to be caught out, yeah, he's dead.
He's going to be able to get the lasso on Benj as well. He didn't even use it, yeah, so 2 kills. Really good awareness.
So, and this is it feels like at any part of this game, whether or not Mineski-X should have control, they have Nighttime, the Night Stalker, Beastmaster, Hawk, they're still the ones getting caught out because they're playing sort of separately, they're playing split up. Individually, they're not judging Fnatic's movements very well. And now Fnatic are going to consolidate the lead with Rush. And after this, I really feel like Mineski-X are in very, very big trouble. Like, the game is spiraling out of control, and we might see 10 minutes time, Raxel's already even.
Yeah, definitely potential. So 5k net worth lead plus 5k experience lead going away from Fnatic. Going to be vaulted even more with the Aegis going the way of they give it to the Invoker. And you know, this I was just thinking about this actually. The Oracle Spectre synergy with the dispersion, like you damage him with the purifying flames. I mean, it all adds up. It's pretty interesting. He's only got 1 level in dispersion at the moment though. And the fact that he takes reduced damage anyway, so if you get to that late game scenario, you can just spam Purifying Flames on your Spectre and he just keeps healing up, taking less damage and dealing damage as well at the same time.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary hero to... I wonder how do you know the interaction between False Promise and Dispersion? Like,
not a clue.
If you False Promise Spectre and he's taking no damage, is he dispersing it then? Or right at the end when he takes all the damage, is there just a huge dispersal?
I actually don't know, that's really interesting.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Wow. You could like build up a spirit bomb around your Spectre.
Wow, that would be really cool. I would imagine it probably is leather. But Oracle's actually bought a gem, I don't know where it is, it's on the courier at the moment. Yeah, it's on the courier, but just another item to sort of consolidate their lead in this game, give themselves full map control.
Yeah, and I gotta go back to Midas OD. I mean, I just think this is always a tough decision, and you can sense the pressure of he felt he needed to have this item to keep up with the farm. But at the same time, I feel like it did cost them, because at the certain point in the game where key fights were happening early on, the OD wasn't able to achieve as much as if it had gone for the early drum. And it's always that catch-22 actually with OD. I think most ODs you'll see won't go Midas exactly for that reason. But yeah. I feel like when you're in a game where you're struggling to think of ways that you're going to keep up with farm with the enemy team, that's Midas is the go-to.
Giving the gem over to the Bat Rider as you'd expect, so he's got lots of vision. They see Jacko who grab the lasso, now the full stuff back. The Spectre comes in, the Sunstrike is actually going to miss as he wind runs to the right. And it's a good shackle catching the Spectre, so he might actually come out of this one alive. That's 2 big ultimates from Fnatic used. So yeah, Mineski, they were like, okay, right, ultimate's down, let's try and catch someone out at the moment, but Fnatic might... gonna back off now. Yeah, they must expect that. I mean, there's a big queue as Darkness was used. It's kind of like, okay, something's going on here.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, and I don't know if Fnatic are that afraid of the dark. They've shown so far in this game that they've made a lot of plays at nighttime, and actually here's a play on the Night Stalker at nighttime.
They're gonna use the cold snap, the swap to save him. The Roar comes out on Ohio. They've also got a level 2, actually it's only level 1 Necronote unit, but Ohio does finally go down. That's a gem on floor. Who's gonna be able to pick that up is gonna be important. The shackle onto DJ. 1 kill going the way of Mineski-X. Can't find the second as Doom gets saved with the false promise.
Yeah, it's one of the first plays we've seen Fnatic make with their Oracle not being nearby, and it shows, because Bad Rider definitely lives if Oracle's there. Oracle wasn't there, and actually Mineski-X are able to turn things around without the save there.
Yeah, they do save the gem, which I think is very important, considering Bat Rider is well, he's obviously a great hero to carry the gem, and when he gets the Ags, he becomes even better. I guess a moment of hope for Mineski-X. I mean, they're not out of the game, that's for sure.
Yeah, not yet.
And actually, they're going to get aggressive here. The shackle. Oh, catches out 2 important heroes. DJ is going to be the targeted one. Silence up, but the disarm on the Wind Ranger. Nice play coming out from 3-4-3 there on the Oracle. Like, looking for the wraparound. Beastmaster's got that blink plus the Primal War Roar coming up in 5 seconds. But they can jump forward from Ohio. He decides not to go for this. The shackle catches 2 heroes once again. Now the minus armor. They're going to turn this. The Spectre using that horn, focusing on 2 Extinct actually. As he's actually he's jumping around everywhere at the moment. 2 dead on Mineski-X. Looking to get the 3rd. That's Jacko on the Wind Ranger. Mid one blinks forward. The shackles do connect, but it doesn't matter. DJ. Actually, it's Invoker that gets the kill, but.
Where's the OD been? Is that? I mean, I feel like you hit 2 hero shackle twice in a row. If your OD is there to chunk out the damage, those are kills. But OD wasn't there either time, and OD actually at risk of going down.
Gotta look for. Okay, not even going to do the Sunstrike. Push back from the Flame Break. One unstoppable now, 6-1 and 6, and he still's got the Aegis, which will be timing out in about 10 seconds. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, Net is being chased after by a Night Stalker, not something you normally expect to see. Net is pretty tanky, but there's going to be help coming in form of the Invoker. So, okay, that's going to be the Aegis timing out, and now Nova, he's in a lot of trouble. The Cold Snap procs, I mean, he can't go anywhere. The blink forward, now the Yules, the Sunstrike goes down, summons up some Forge Spirits mid one. He is wicked sick.
Yeah, mid one's just running circles around this game. From that first play where, I mean, he actually died first blood, but after that he had a solo play against Jacko where he turned things around and baited him in and killed him.
Top lane, DJ, he gets caught out by another double man shackle, but they're still all alive. The Oracle was saving grace.
Yeah, these 2 hero shackles really just need damage outputs. Like, you have to have your OD there to kill the people who are shackled to each other, and it's not really happened once this game. I think that there was a good shackle with the OD there to deal the damage. The OD has just been kind of ineffective, spent a lot of time farming. It's gotten to the blink dagger now, so really should be able to get involved, but at the same time there's now a Spectre up with a Radiance, which, I mean, again, that's a sign, as I was saying before, Spectres usually after their urn and their drum and their phase boots are going mad to start the Fusel Blade these days, and to go straight for the Radiance is a sign of just how comfortable Fnatic feel at the moment.
Yeah, the mischance will be great as well, let alone the damage. And I mean, what's the play now for Fnatic? I feel like they definitely have the potential to go high ground there. There's no T2 towers left. Only T3s, but they don't have the Aegis, and you've seen these 2-man shackles. They have been hitting, which I guess that's one good sign for Mineski fans.
No, they're gonna go now. They got Haunt, they got Radiance, they're gonna start a fight.
Yeah, they're doing. They're gonna leave DJ on the front lines. They've got some Forge Spirits as well. Alacrity on the Invoker.
Yeah, I think they were hoping that someone would come a little bit closer and Ohio could catch them and pull them out. But no one comes, and Fnatic just get the chip damage on the tower and are happy to go back for a while.
Invoker's now got his man. His items just keep on coming. Accept to complete, and on him now. He's definitely got all his tools now at the moment. Look at Bat Rider, Ohio. He's got that Firefly up if he needs it, plus the gem. That makes a big difference at this stage. And obviously the great thing about Spectre doesn't even need to be there. He's getting, he's just he can split push the other lanes, and then when a team fight does happen, for the pawn.
Yeah, and this is why it really doesn't matter to Fnatic how long they take. They'll slowly chip the tower. If someone comes close, Bat's gonna catch them. If no one comes close, they'll just keep slowly farming away.
Okay, OD blinks forward with that newly purchased blink. Goes for the Astral. It's kind of more just slowing the push down, but T3 is gonna eventually fall.
Dire's structures are fortified.
The fortification, keeping it on 77 hit points, but there's only a moment of time. Beastmaster, actually, I don't know if that was a self-heals, but he managed to blink away. There's the Horn coming in now, the Radiance Burn. Net moves on forward. Who's he jumping on this? The Doom now on OD. They're running towards their base. Shackle does catch out the Batrider, hasn't used his lasso, and now the Roar, but Net saved by the Oracle. He's still alive, and now the jump's being used as they retreat back, but that's going to be the Beastmaster going down. Destroyed by the Oracle. The Sunstrike just misses Extinct. That would have been his death. But more importantly, the melee barracks falls. Now the range. That's one set of wrecks. And the push can probably continue, to be honest. There's no buyback on the Beastmaster.
It was
lanes pushed in.
A really quick, good, fast self-heals from mid-1 there, reacting to Beastmaster blinking in. And out of desperation, Mineski-X finally make a call. Okay, let's just go ahead, and they don't even get to initiate the way they want to. Mid-1 has really just been the star of the show today. Absolutely carrying the game, and I do feel like it's interesting when Mushi's not here that there's maybe more potential for that to happen. When Mid-1 and Mushi are both playing, a lot of the time Mushi's kind of like the star of the show, has to be the one doing the main carrying, even though Mid-1's the flashier player. But he's had all the freedom in the world this game, and if you look at the net worths, it really shows Mid-1 has had an enormous impact.
Fantastic game. I mean, I think I have to give props to 343 though on the Oracle. He's always, pretty much always been there. Maybe a couple of occasions where not, but anyway, at Hio, he's got the Shallow Blade now. He's looking to grab a target. It's going to be NJ. Blinks forward, gets the lasso. Now the Sunstrike perfectly placed to hit NJ, but the swap, it saves him for now, but Mid-1 blinks on forward, does to get NJ anyway. The lasso is, not the lasso, the Shackle's not going to be too helpful, but here comes Barbecue Flamingo on the OD. He's still got the hammer if he wants to use it, but the Venge does go down. The Astral is gonna catch out, I believe it's the Invoker there at the moment, as he goes invisible at the moment, moves on forward as Jacko wind runs his way back to base. Now, look at this Mid-1, he's just inside the enemy base, keeping them back, hurting them back inside their own fountain. As his allies deal some damage to the T3 tower. That's going to go down, crumbling to the floor. No Beastmaster, no Vengeful Spirit. Venge up in 2 seconds. This melee barrack starting to take a bit of a hit. OD, he's still got the hammer, blinks forward. Astral onto Hio there. It's only stalling mechanisms here as the melee barrack's going to go down. It looks like Fnatic, they're going to get out of here at the moment. Doom could be the one left behind. It's a long range Shackle, but it's a good EMP. It's going to maybe zone them back as the Spectre's spawn is already back up again. They managed to find the kill on the OD, and they're jumping onto the backlines to roll. Hio saved instantly with the false promise. After he got rolled, the Sunstrike is just going to miss Jacko as he wind runs away. Hio does get that kill, and all 5 heroes on Mineski-X are dead. And that is going to be GG. 25-9 before half an hour.
Despite the number of very good shackles in this game, we still never see a time where someone shackled and OD could dish out the damage. Like there, the OD tried to blink in and Astral the Oracle, so it couldn't save the person they got on, but then OD just sort of blinked into its own death. And I do feel like this is, I mean, we can talk about Fnatic using a reserve, but I feel like this game is a very clear sign of Fnatic being a team that's together. They live together, they play together, they've just done really well together at big tournaments. I mean, Mineski-X is a team that's still figuring out their roster and really don't seem all together on the same page. I thought their draft was good, I thought their early game rotation